What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a post-game edition of MoBettaSports. I'm your host, Antonio, aka Mr.MoBetta. And man, today, guys, as we just see, Texas comes away with the victory over Arkansas in Fayetteville, 20-10. Not exactly the greatest performance we've had. However, nothing can be taken away from the fact that you got a road win in the SEC, right? This is the same Arkansas team, again, that just a couple of weeks ago took down the number 4 ranked Tennessee Volunteers, who are, again, another top 5, top 10 ranked team right now. And we really defensively handled Arkansas. The offense, man. The offense. God, we got a lot to talk about, I guess. But the offense just struggles so much. There are flashes of brilliance. There are flashes of phenomenal execution. And most of that is by way of Quinn, right? I'm talking more so by way of Quinn. He has flashes of excellence, man. He really does. And his intermediate passing game is so damn good. But when he is forced to push the ball downfield past 20, 25 yards, it's like I don't know what happens to him. I don't understand. I don't know what happens to him. He just has terrible feet sometimes. He has terrible downfield depth on his passes, man. He just overthrows constantly. And I get that he has a big arm, but it's like, man, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anybody with as much arm talent as Quinn have as much struggles throwing the ball downfield. And I love Quinn, man. I think he is a great quarterback. And by no means am I trying to say that I don't think that he is the quarterback for this team, because I still believe that. Again, taking us to a 12-1 season, 12-2 season, Big 12 championship and a playoff berth, on track to take us to the SEC championship game again. But it's just there's so many inconsistencies with him, and I would really, really just love to see them be cleaned up before it comes playoff time, man, because we can't have inconsistent play from him. Right, like this, he went 20 of 32 for 176 yards and 2 touchdowns today. And you can't be mad. He threw 2 touchdowns, right? And he didn't turn the ball over. And he closed the game out with an excellent read option call. Lowered his shoulders, showed some toughness, got the first down to close the game out. But still, he just has so many like glaring inefficiencies as a quarterback. I don't know, man. And I don't know what the remedy is. Maybe this is just who Quinn is. Like, he's hot sometimes he's cold. But I feel like we have so much talent and the offense is so dynamic in so many different ways. If Quinn could just match up to par, just be up to par with the rest of the team around him consistently, we would have games like we had last week against Florida, or like we had in week 2 against Michigan, or like anytime we have really good games, it's because Quinn is on fire. And when we don't, we have mediocre games, it's because Quinn is just playing mediocre. And I felt like that's how he played today. He played mediocre. While it was a good win, and he had, again, flashes of really good plays. He had some really good throws. Way too many missed opportunities. Too many times he's tripping in the pocket. And it's just, when he isn't going, our offense isn't going. And it's unfortunate because we have so many big play opportunities. We just do. On the other side of the football, Jahdae Barron is playing out of his goddamn mind. That kid is phenomenal. If he is not the clear-cut Thorpe Award front runner right now. I don't understand what everybody's looking at. I mean, the kid just makes plays every single week. Every single week. Another game where Texas has a multi-turnover game defensively, causing multiple turnovers. Jahdae Barron had an interception. Jahdae Barron had a sack, almost had 2 sacks, had a pivotal pass rush when Arkansas was down in our red zone that flushed Taylon Green out. Ended up, I believe, forcing into a field goal. And he had a sack. I don't know if I said that. He had tackles for losses. He was all over the field, man. He was all over the field. Him and Alfred Collins balled the fuck out today. Them two single-handedly really saved the season in a sense. I don't want to be dramatic. Like, not saved the entire season, but could have, because the fumble that Alfred Collins forces takes away a potential touchdown. At that point, the game was it 13? I think it was 13-7. I think it was 13-7, if I'm not mistaken. They could have gone up. Maybe it was 20-10. I don't know. It could have been 20-10 at that point. I have to go back and everything is kind of flooding my memory right now. So, but nonetheless, a huge play. It really shut the door. I think it was 20-10 at that point, actually. It really shut the door on the game. Alfred Collins forces that fumble. Mookie recovers. Jahdae Barron gets huge interception early in the game. The defense continues to show up week in and week out and prove why they are the best in the country. The defense is elite. Now, when they're stuck on the field for 15 minutes at a time, 10, 12-minute play, or 12 minutes at a time, and when your offense is going 3 and out and putting them right back on the field, they're going to eventually let up some points, right? And we saw that happen. We saw Arkansas be able to drive the ball, run the ball really effectively because the defense was getting tired, right? They were on the field the entire third quarter, it felt like. Overall, I thought Sark called a pretty decent game at first. At first, the first quarter and a half, I thought Sark was calling an excellent game. I thought he was mixing it up. He was keeping the defense on their toes. And then I felt like after Quinn missed a couple of throws downfield, he started getting too screen happy, too much throwing the ball side to side, and not taking enough chances down the field. And granted, I mean, I get it because Quinn's not hitting the throws down the field that he needs to. However, I don't think you can just abandon the downfield pass altogether, especially against a defense like Arkansas. This defense literally just gave up 63 points 2 weeks ago. Now, granted, they had a bye week, and they're coming off of a bye week, so they had plenty of time to study. They had plenty of time to prepare. But we have a team that should easily put up 30 to 40 points on that Arkansas defense. They're okay, but they're not that good, right? They're decent, but they're not that good. And I think we made them look a lot better today than they are. And that is what kind of concerns me. But, again, I trust that this team will fight to the end and that they will come up clutch in crunch time, right? So, it is what it is. You got to take the good with the bad. I think that, today there was a little bit more bad than you would have liked to have seen in this game. But it is what it is. It is what it is. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at... I'm going to pull the game up real quick. I'm going to pull up the stats just so that we can take a look at the stats and everything. I mean, you see it, yeah. So, Quinn, again, 20 of 32 for 176 yards. A 5.5 yard average. I mean, that... come on, bro. That is so bad. That is just so bad. And a lot of that was due to the play calling. I get it. But a lot of the play calling is also a result of the fact that your quarterback is not hitting passes down the field. Again, our rushing attack showed out. Jaden Blue had a great game, averaging almost 6 yards a carry. 14 carries for 83 yards. Damn near fumbled, had my heart drop on that long run that he broke out towards the end of the game. I believe that was his 28-yard run. Quintravion Wisner, 17 for 59. Didn't do as great of a job blocking, I feel like, for him. I felt like he was fighting for a lot of his yards. But overall, 41 for 140 yards, 3.4 yard average. Not great. Not great. Not great. Again, everything started out really great. And then I just felt like the middle of the game, second and the third quarters, like we just lulled out. Like we couldn't get anything going at all. Isaiah Bond led today, 4 receptions, 48 yards. Matthew Golden, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. Silas Bolden, 3 for 33. Gunnar Helm, 3 for 32. Gunnar Helm's got to get more involved. I felt like Quinn didn't look for him enough. Yeah. Defense did a great job, on the other hand. 150 yards passing, 80 yards rushing. Less than 250 total yards given up. Andrew Armstrong started to come on late in the game. They had held him to like 1 or 2 receptions up until about like the third quarter, late in the third quarter. Outside of Andrew Armstrong, they had no help. Defensive line did a phenomenal job. Baron Sorrell was getting after it. Alfred Collins was getting after it. Trey Moore was in there making plays again. Had another, he had a sack. Second sack on the season, I believe. Man, yeah, everyone played really well defensively. Look at Jade, man. 6 solo tackles, a sack, 2 tackles for a loss. Deflected pass, interception. Colin Simmons had another good game as well. 2 sacks for him. Baron Sorrell's credited with only 1 sack, but I thought he had another sack in the game as well. We had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sacks on the day. So again, the defense playing out of their minds, man. Defense is doing everything they need to. And really, the defense is what is allowing us to separate. Unfortunately, our offense is not, and not even our offense. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, bro. Like, as much as I love Quinn, bro, the proof is in the pudding. This right here is absolutely insane. 5.5 yard average. You are supposed to be one of the top draft picks in the country, and you threw for a 5.5 yard average against a 5-5 Arkansas Razorbacks that just led up over 600 total yards to Jackson Dart and Ole Miss. You know, I mean, there's not really much else you can say about that. I thought everyone else had a pretty good, pretty solid outing. Quinn has got to step it up. He has got to figure it out over the next couple weeks, man. He has to figure it out over the next couple weeks. Or we're going to go into that SEC championship game and we're going to get steamrolled. Or we're going to go into A&M and the game is not going to go the way that we're wanting it to. This should have been a 40-point game again. You know, my predictions are never wrong. It's not my fault if the players don't live up to expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, this should have been a 40-point game for us. But it wasn't. At the end of the day, a win is a win, and a win in conference is major. And right now, as many conference wins as we can stack together is going to be better for us because the SEC conference race is so tight right now. It's so tight, and somebody's going to be on the outside looking in, likely with 2 losses. The best thing that we can do for ourselves is just keep us out of that column. Just keep stacking the wins. We go to Kentucky next week, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, let me just go here. Let me make sure. I think we're going to Kentucky next week. Yep, we got Kentucky next week at 2:30. It's going to be another tough one. Much like this game, it should be a blowout. But, I mean, hey, like, Texas got to show up at the same time. You feel me? Texas has got to show up. This Kentucky team led up 48 to Florida, 28 to Tennessee. Only let up 20 to Ole Miss. Wow. And beat Ole Miss. Crazy. We'll see. It's going to be another tough one. It's not going to be as easy as the record would indicate, right? These teams are not what their records say. Not always, at least. And regardless, it's going to be another SEC game. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how they prepare. I'll be going back and, rewatching the game as soon as I get up off of here and see how we could have improved. One thing that I thought was really good from an entire perspective was that there was a lot less penalties. I don't think we had nearly as many penalties today as we're accustomed to. Normally, we're in the 7 to 10 penalty range. I think we had less than 5. I think we had less than 5 today. Let me see if it'll tell us here. It's going to have to be on the box or the team stats, maybe. Team stats. Let's see what we're looking at. 315 total yards. We held them to 230 yards, man. But, God, 315 yards is just not acceptable in my opinion. Not acceptable. Does it tell us penalties? Only had 2 penalties on the day. Yeah, that's really good. We can take that. I'll take that every day of the week. Third down, terrible. 4 for 15 against an Arkansas team like this. We still got a lot of things to clean up. I'm just going to say how it is. We still got a lot of things to clean up, man. Not the most impressive game win, but it doesn't need to be impressive for it to be a win. All we need to do is continue to roll, continue to get better. And we'll see how the team prepares for Kentucky. We'll be doing some deep dives into that. But yeah, all right, I'm going to let you guys go, man. I'll say my player of the game, Jahdae Barron, without question. Jahdae Barron was an animal, played fantastic. The D-line played fantastic. The defense in general just played out of their minds. We're very fortunate to have a defense that we do. Yeah. All right. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. Thank you for tuning in. If you got to this point in the video, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button or at least like the video. Leave your comments, questions, anything y'all think. What were y'all thoughts on the games? Let me know how y'all felt, how y'all feel about Quinn. I obviously don't think that it's appropriate to go Arch Manning, but I do think that Quinn Ewers just got to step it up, man. He's going to have to step it up later. But, yep. Subscribe to the channel. Again, turn on the notification bell so that you never miss anything that we have coming for you. Because remember, no matter where you look, there's no better place than MoBettaSports for your latest Texas football takes. I'm your host, Antonio, a.k.a. Mr.MoBetta, and I am out. Peace and hook 'em.